Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Netta Iranpour, and here at CBS 8, we are always working for you. We're getting to the bottom of problems you have asked us about, and we're looking for solutions. So we begin with the recent wildfires. During the month of January, as many of you know, at least 7 fires ignited in San Diego County. Many of you received alerts on your phone telling you to evacuate. But we did learn some people living in evacuation areas did not get the warnings. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you to explain why and let you know what you need to do to ensure you're getting the information you need to stay safe.
This neighborhood in La Jolla was under an evacuation order yesterday when a fire broke out in the brush below. We heard from a viewer who said she never got an alert telling her to leave, so I reached out to county leaders to find out what San Diegans need to do to ensure they're getting that type of information.
Over the past few weeks, fires have been popping up all over San Diego County. That's led to evacuation warnings and orders which people impacted should be receiving on their phones, but not always. Here's why. For starters, it could be because you don't have an emergency alert app installed. While there are several, a spokesperson with the County of San Diego, as well as San Diego Fire's Assistant Chief of Operations, Dan Eddy, told me Genesis Protect is the one they want people to use.
There's a new statewide system that is being used across the way that you can download that app and you can sign up for alerts on it or anything else.
So what if you don't have a Genesis Protect app or any other to receive alerts? During fires, local agencies will also send alerts via cell phone towers, which will identify people within the evacuation zone.
We do what's called a WIA. So a WIA alert is it pings the cell tower and we can pick the radius that it goes around. So anyone that's within that, we can do half mile, 2 miles within that radius of where we put our pin drop, basically, you will all get an alert on your phone. So as we were sitting yesterday on the La Jolla fire, my phone must have gone off 10 times as I'm sitting there because they kept sending out a WIA alert through there. The only difference will be is that the WIA alert comes a little bit after the Genesis alert.
If your home is in an evacuation zone, but you're someplace else, for example, at work with your cell phone, you won't get that alert. Finally, what if you don't have a smartphone or any cell phone at all?
We still have boots on the ground and police officers are going to doors, sheriffs are still banging door to doors. And so we're doing everything we can to ensure that everybody gets out.
Again, there are other apps that will send out alerts and updated information, but county leaders suggest Genesis Protect, a company they contract with. They also say the SD Emergency app is a good resource. For more information, including links to those apps, just log on to CBS8.com and click on this story. Working for you, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8.
So helpful and reassuring to know that you're getting the alerts you need. We have some answers now after several viewers reached out asking what's going on with the vacant building that once housed the iconic Nicolosi's restaurant in San Carlos. CBS 8's Jenny Day working for you and shows us what we can expect there.
The popular Nicolosi's restaurant moved to Santee nearly 3 years ago, so this location here on Navajo and Jackson in San Carlos has been vacant ever since.
Yes, we miss it.
Comfort food, the warm spaghetti.
Easy to find people with good memories of Nicolosi's Italian restaurant, family owned since 1952.
I used to go there all the time.
It's still a family favorite, but some neighbors say this location has become somewhat of an eyesore.
It was super sad. I still get sad seeing it every time I go to school.
I don't like to see a building that just gets run down. Nice place for the homeless. They camp out in there.
Do you know that?
I've seen it.
The location is sandwiched in between another apartment complex and a shopping center. It faces the beautiful Mission Trails, and Patrick Henry High School is nearby.
San Carlos is so lovely. It's just so family-oriented.
So I reached out to the city of San Diego, including District 7 Council member Raul Campillo, and learned Community Housing Works bought the building from Nicolosi's. And this is their vision: a 4-story, 45-unit affordable housing complex with 58 parking spots. The developer told me best case scenario would be to break ground on the project by the end of this year, and then construction would be another 18 to 24 months. But there are permitting and financing hurdles to get through first. I asked people who live nearby what they think.
So many parents work so hard and they need affordable prices where their kids can go.
I think it's going to add a little bit to congestion. We'd rather have a place to eat that we could walk to.
Community Housing Works tells me they've been developing affordable housing for nearly 4 decades now. They own 50 properties in California, with the majority here in San Diego. They also provide services to residents like classes on finances and health, as well as after-school programs for children. So until construction begins, they say they'll do their best to maintain the property, recently painting over graffiti, picking up trash and weeds, and doing security checks. Working for you in San Carlos, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
Okay, now we know what's going to be coming there. A bird flu is spreading, and that is raising concerns for many San Diegans who've turned to backyard chickens, these for fresh eggs. That has viewers asking, what can you do to protect your flock from the bird flu? CBS 8's Steve Price, working for you, and spoke with a local veterinarian who shares these safety tips and the symptoms to watch out for.
Vets here at the San Diego Humane Society say so far, no backyard chickens in our county have tested positive for the bird flu, but they warn it spreads easily. So we asked them for some tips to help keep your birds safe.
They're happy, I'm happy, they give me breakfast every morning. And
Joe Nelson loves his chickens.
That one is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The East County resident showed us his backyard chicken flock back in December 2023, before the bird flu was a serious concern. So we checked back in with him today, and he says so far, so good.
I would be heartbroken.
Joe says he's keeping his birds locked up in contained areas, and despite offers of new chickens from friends, he's saying no.
We're not taking anyone on board. As much as we love them, as much as we'd love to have more chickens, not going to do that right now. It's too much of a risk, and they could wipe out an entire flock.
It's a smart move. Vets at the San Diego Humane Society say keeping your backyard chickens away from other animals is extremely important, and don't let them share food.
We're not feeding our chickens in the same area where other wild birds can have access. So bringing in the food and the water is a good way to protect and prevent mingling of backyard flock birds and wild animals.
Dr. Danielle Clem also says wash your hands after handling birds and disinfect your coops and feeders regularly.
Things that you want to look for would be respiratory disease, so that could look like a runny nose, sneezing or coughing, as well as neurologic signs.
If you do think one of your chickens is sick, make sure you're wearing gloves and isolate it right away. Be sure to disinfect your shoes and report it to local health officials. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, bird flu cannot be transmitted through properly cooked eggs.
What other pet gives you a gift at the end of the day? And as valuable as those are right now, we have a ton of eggs, and we're happy about that.
For more tips on backyard chicken safety, go to CBS8.com and click on this story. Steve Price, CBS 8.
I mean, our neighbors' chickens are giving them one a day, multiple a day. So if backyard chickens, though, are not for you, we do want to help you before your next trip to the grocery store. Still ahead, where to find the best deals on eggs in San Diego. But coming up next, a mystery right off of our coast, what divers found near La Jolla Shores. Welcome back here. A local state senator is proposing a bill to address loopholes in housing laws, but some say it does not go far enough. SB 92 addresses concerns over a controversial development in Pacific Beach. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you on this story and explains the bill and what many neighbors are saying about it.
Developers want to build a 22-story mixed-use project here on Turquoise Street in Pacific Beach. Senator Catherine Blakespear says they use loopholes to get approval, which her bill addresses, but some say it doesn't cover them all.
I'm trying to prevent the exploitation of our housing laws.
Which Senator Catherine Blakespear tells me is exactly what's happening on Turquoise Street in Pacific Beach. Developers are planning to build a 239-foot tall tower with 213 units. 74 are designated dwelling units, only 10 of which are affordable housing. But the remaining 139 would be visitor accommodation units, or as Senator Blakespear puts it, hotel rooms that don't address the housing crisis.
You know, housing provides housing for people who have jobs and kids and families and roots and build a community. So hotel rooms are for people who are visiting. So it's a completely different use.
I found out the developer was able to bypass the coastal area's 30-foot limit as well as other restrictions by relying on the state's density bonus law, which allows waivers if a proposal meets certain housing requirements. Senate Bill 92 would prohibit luxury hotels or other mixed-use projects that don't provide significant residential housing from qualifying for bonuses.
It would require that in order for a developer to use the density bonus law, they would have to have the project be 2/3 housing.
Well, that's a start. Opponents of the project tell me the bill only does so much.
It does nothing for our height limit predicament.
It's addressing more units for total housing, but not adding a larger percentage of affordable housing.
Dr. Marcella Bothwell and Karen Ventimiglia are active members of Neighbors for a Better California.
100 times that.
The group is behind a series of protests condemning the Turquoise project. They say not only does it violate local laws, but it's also on a street that can't support it.
It is a evacuation route for La Jolla, Pacific Beach. It's already 400% of capacity.
SB 92 still has to go through an approval process, which will take several months. As for the Turquoise project, the city is still reviewing it, and no construction timeline has been set. Meanwhile, the developer tells CBS 8 the goal is to make this beach community accessible to a lot more San Diegans who otherwise wouldn't have the ability to live here. Working for you, I'm Shanna Handy for CBS 8.
A lot more to come from that one. Now, the developer also tells us referring to the project as a hotel is inaccurate, adding they're abiding by all local and state laws. A fascinating discovery by divers. Look at this. This just off the coast of La Jolla shores. They spotted the carcass of a baby whale. CBS 8's Steve Price working for you and talked to experts to find out why it died at such a young age.
Just off our coast, we're talking less than a football field away on the bottom of the ocean floor. Divers made an amazing discovery. They spotted the carcass of a baby whale. And while they say it is sad to know that a baby whale died, they appreciate the opportunity to witness the circle of life.
It's very special. Everybody got very excited.
Adam Pierce has seen a lot of cool things over the years diving off La Jolla shores, but this is something he'll never forget.
You could see the eye, you could see, the wrinkles in the skin.
Divers made the discovery last week, the baby only about 20 feet long. As for why it passed away so young, a NOAA spokesperson told us, "We believe this is a gray whale calf that had been seen alive nearby a few weeks ago by a whale watch operator. The calf was alone when it was seen alive, and we think that it likely lost its mother and then starved."
This place takes my breath away every week.
Darren Hunter has also had a chance to see it, and while he says it's sad the whale passed away, he knows this is all part of the natural process of life in the ocean.
It's not wasted. We have a very diverse, vibrant ecosystem here that will make benefit of it, and it will not be wasted, so that's a good thing.
Since it's about 100 feet down and in a dark spot, it's hard to know exactly how long it will take for it to decompose on its own. But new pictures taken today show a larger predator recently came by and started picking at it. Divers are hoping it will still be here for a while.
This is going to degrade over a period of weeks, months, and even years. So to see that process and maybe take a still shot every time we visit and see the difference and the change over time, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
The carcass is only about 200 yards from the shore, but with that comes a warning. While it is rare to have one so close to the coast, divers say don't be fooled into thinking you can just head out here and easily see it.
The dive itself is a very advanced dive, so unless you have the right certifications and the right training, I would just advise people not to do it.
At La Jolla Shores, Steve Price, CBS 8.
Yeah, it's 100 feet deep. That's for advanced diving. Coming up next, are you having trouble finding eggs, or are your favorite options just getting way too expensive? We're going to help you shop around. Welcome back. For the first time in 3 decades, the city of El Cajon is welcoming dogs downtown. City Council voted to end the ban on dogs in downtown El Cajon. It was called Prohibition. The city says the move is part of their commitment to listen to residents and adapt their policies.
Owners want to bring their dogs with them, whether it's dining in outdoor patios, going into our art galleries. So we don't want to ban that audience from being downtown.
So many of us have dogs. We want to take them out to celebrate. Some downtown businesses showed dog artwork, and some restaurants even added special menus just for your pets. The USDA is now warning people that we should expect egg prices to rise even more this year. Yeah, even more. An outbreak of bird flu has led to empty shelves in some places and a lot higher prices. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for your wallet and has more on the nationwide shortage and where here in San Diego you can find eggs for the best prices.
Federal data shows egg prices have risen 60% since last year, and they're expected to go even higher. Now, I did not have a problem finding eggs today, but I did discover it makes a big difference depending on where you go. There's no shortage of customers at Hilliker's Ranch in Lakeside.
We've been coming here for years. And they're the best eggs in town.
But there is a shortage of eggs.
Right now, the egg business, well, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Owner Frank Hilliker says a nationwide bird flu outbreak has forced farmers to kill millions of birds, leading to less product and higher prices.
It's mostly hurting the consumer because typically eggs are, $3, $4, $5 a dozen, and right now they're $8, $9, $10, $12 a dozen.
Frank's eggs start at $5. He's been able to keep prices relatively low because he only sells eggs that originate on his farm, but he has had to implement a 1-egg product limit due to the influx of customers coming here who can't find them someplace else.
We want to try to keep as many people happy as possible.
If you're trying to find eggs in other parts of San Diego, it didn't seem to be a problem for me today. So based on the 5 stores I went to today, the issue isn't finding eggs. We found them everywhere. It's finding the best price for eggs. For example, I found the cheapest eggs at Trader Joe's in Pacific Beach for $3.49. At Sprouts in Claremont, they start at $3.99 a dozen. Trader Joe's had a 2-carton limit. Sprouts' limit is 4 dozen. At Vaughn's in PB and Claremont, they were $7.99 without a limit. Finally, the most expensive place I found eggs was at Target, where the ones in stock started at $9.89.
The whole economy, we've all been hidden with all these little things. Well, after a while, these things start to add up.
Back at Hilliker's, Frank hopes to keep prices down and product in for as long as possible. That means taking extra precautions to ensure his flock is safe. While bird flu is spread through contact with sick birds or their droppings, Frank isn't taking any chances. Right now, school field trips are on hold, and biosecurity, which includes disinfecting employees and trucks coming in and out, has been heightened to avoid anything or anyone unknowingly spreading the disease.
Could we get it tomorrow? Sure, we could. But we're just doing everything we can to keep it away.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
And that is going to do it for us here. Remember, if there's something you'd like us to look into, you can always email us right there, working for you at cbs8.com. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.